It's the Berlin Philharmonic.
Oh, it's not? Oh, good. Maybe we're... Oh, it's 4:01. We're running a little late. We'll kind of... Let me get settled in here. Had an informative little 15 minutes before the meeting, just kind of getting caught up here. Okay, it is just a little after 4. We'll call the May 19th, 2014 meeting to order. If we could have a roll call, please.
Mayor Householder?
Here.
Commissioner Blanchard?
Here.
Commissioner Crawford?
Here.
Commissioner Hardy?
Here.
Commissioner Shirley?
Here.
At this time, all of those of you who are able, if you would please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance with me in a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Move on to awards and proclamations.
Item 3.1, the day of May 24th, 2014, as Poppy Day in the city of Salina. Sue Herman, Vice President, American Legion Auxiliary, will read the proclamation.
Ms. Herman.
How are all of you?
Good. Thank you.
Our Poppy Day proclamation. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers. Whereas those who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle. Whereas a nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war. Whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of all lives in all wars. And whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower. Therefore, I, Aaron Householder, Mayor of the City of Salina, do hereby proclaim May 24th, 2014 as Poppy Day, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day.
What events do you have planned for this week, or this month?
On Saturday, we'll be out distributing poppies, and we will be at Dillon Southgate, the new Dillon's over on the east side of town, and Walmart this year. As with everything else, it's tough to get volunteers to like to be every place in town, but we're not going to be able to do that this year. And then on Memorial Day, we have our memorials. VFW will be at Gypsum Hill at 10 a.m. At 10:30, the American Legion will be at Roselawn, and 11 o'clock at Sunset Park will be our memorial. Lunch will be served at the American Legion Post this year on 142 South 7th for those that would like to attend.
Great. I have your signed proclamation up here.
May I give you some coffee?
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
I was excited to see it out there putting them together for us. Thank you.
I appreciate the fact that our veterans make these.
Oh, they do?
Veterans make them. And one year we had to redo them. These little mini deans on there, and quite frankly, I admire them. Not only in war, but in itself.
Thank you. There you go.
About how many of them
Thank
do they
you,
make
Sue.
here locally?
We get ours out of our department.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
We order 2,000 every year.
Oh, goodness.
And distribute them.
See if I can get that in there.
Is that it?
Somewhere, I don't have a little lapel here. There we go.
Might take a little microphone.
And I have your signed copy up here when you're finished. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sue.
Item 3.2, the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2014 is National Public Works Weeks in the City of Salina. Justin Birch with the Public Works Department will read the proclamation.
Mr. Birch.
Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as streets and highways, stormwater and levee systems, solid waste collection and disposal operations, municipal fleet maintenance services, water treatment and distribution, wastewater collection and treatment, engineering and inspection, public facilities, and whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these services and facilities each and every day, as well as in times of emergency and community disaster, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these services and facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials, and whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitudes and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, I, Aaron Hausholter, Mayor of the City of Salina, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through May 24th, 2014 as National Public Works Week in the City of Salina, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Salina, Kansas, to be affixed this 19th day of May, 2014.
What events do you have planned for this week?
Across the country, public works departments are celebrating by reading proclamations such as the one just read, conducting tours to raise awareness and familiarity with what public works does, holding special appreciation events and award ceremonies. Here in the City of Salina last Friday, May 16th, we had a Public Works luncheon at the Public Works facility on East Ash Street and had an appreciation event with award ceremony. Through the next several days this week, we will be having several committee members traveling to various buildings and work sites, giving snacks and beverages as a token of appreciation to the employees. And we had this year we tried a new thing where we had a clothing drive that benefited the rescue mission and DVAC, and achieved a 77% participation rate.
Wow.
With the department.
Quite a bit of stuff going on then.
Yes.
Busy. Well, I've got your signed proclamation up here. Of course, we all appreciate what you do, especially in those winter months when when they're out there cleaning those streets. But we like the trash pickup too, because that might get a little unhandy if that kept belting up the sidewalk. So, not just that. If we thought about it, we probably appreciate just about everything that they do. I think if we lost any one of those, it might be a little bit of we might get a little. This will take us to the Citizens Forum. This is an opportunity for anyone to come up to the Commission with anything that they have that's not on today's agenda. I think we just lost just about everybody there. I think we're back pretty much to city staff. So looks like we don't have anything there. This takes us into public hearings and items scheduled for a certain time.
Item 5.1, public hearing and report on petition number 4364, requesting the vacation of a 10-foot east-west alley located on the north 10-foot of Lot 103 on 2nd Street in the original town of Salina, Saline County, Kansas.
Looks like Mr. Andrew.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. This is a public hearing and report on a petition that's been filed to initiate the vacation of a 10-foot alley that's located on the north side of the former Dillon store on East Iron. Back when the store was originally built, at that time, the record owners dedicated a 10-foot strip along the very north side of the property to the city as an alley for alley, sewer, and utility services. That alley is paved with concrete and is used as part of the circulation path around the store. If you were to drive back there, it wouldn't really be recognizable as a separate alley. It just looks like part of the circulation around the store, but nonetheless, it is a public alley and currently owned by the City of Salina. We've looked at some preliminary plans that might involve the construction of a covered loading area on that north side. And without the elimination of the alley, there's only 11 feet to work with. If the alley is vacated, then that would create 21 feet of private property to work with. We sent this request out to all franchise and public utilities. The only one we heard back from was AT&T, that they indicated they had objections to the vacation of the alley because of facilities they had in the alley, but they were rather vague about what they were, and their contact person is in Overland Park and hasn't been very accessible to staff. So what we're recommending is, in order to clarify and have an opportunity to have a meeting of the minds with AT&T before we give up on this idea, that we open the public hearing today and continue it to June 2nd, 2014, and that would allow us to report back to you on that date additional information we could obtain from AT&T.
Any questions for staff on this at all? Greg, would we just need, Mr. Bingston, would we just need that, would we need to make a motion to postpone that to that date, or just a general acknowledgement, or?
Yes, that would be fine. I think you would want to postpone consideration, and the probably best to continue the public hearing at the same time.
That date.
Two actions. Single motion would work, but you're both continuing the public hearing and postponing consideration until that separate date.
And we think we should have an answer that's firm for you by that date.
Okay. And since it was on the schedule for today, anyone from the public come to talk about the vacation of the alleyway? Okay, I'll bring it back to the commission for action.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we postpone the consideration of vacation of the easement until June 2nd, until the June 2nd, 2014 meeting, to allow additional time to address AT&T's concerns.
Second.
Does that cover your needs?
I think we should probably specify that the public hearing would remain open at that time, or be continued until that time as well.
And continue the public meeting. I'll move to postpone the consideration of the vacation of the easement and continue the public meeting to June 2nd, 2014.
Should probably refer to the
hearing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Public hearing.
It is the unique nature of a public hearing that we would want to continue rather than just the public meeting.
Okay.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
How many takes does he get?
I would move to postpone the consideration of the vacation of the easement and continue the public hearing until the June 2nd, 2014 meeting to allow additional time to address AT&T's concerns.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to postpone this public hearing until June 2nd. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That carries 5-0. We will see that again on June 2nd. We're all excited and waiting with bated breath for that item. That takes us on to the consent agenda.
Item 6.1, approve the minutes of May 12, 2014. Item 6.2, resolution number 14-7104, authorizing the mayor to execute a First Amendment to the architect agreement with Convergence Design, LLC. Item 6.3, authorize the mayor to sign a Kansas Department of Transportation local off-system bridge funding request for the Greeley Avenue Bridge, city project number 08-2709. Item 6.4, authorize the mayor to sign the non-federal aid agreement for construction engineering inspection services for the 9th Street and Cloud Street intersection improvements. Item 6.5, resolution number 14-7103, for concurrence of award of contract for the 9th Street and Cloud Street intersection improvements, project number 11-2872. Item 6.6, authorize the mayor to sign an agreement for cost sharing of digital orthographic pictometry, imagery, and software with Saline County.
Is there any item that a commissioner would like removed or to amend from the consent agenda? I might pull 6.3, just for a little publicity's sake, more than anything else.
I already had it pulled, too.
Yeah.
I knew somebody would.
If there's no other items, I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda with the removal of 6.3.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item 6.3. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Takes us to 6.3. Mr. Stack. Not really any questions, but I know this is really an item that comes up quite a lot. People
Yes, it
ask us,
does.
when are you going to fix the Greeley Street Bridge? And, I don't know if they just don't read the paper or watch our entertaining meetings or what it could be. But it's probably something that the public should be aware of. That is something we have been working on pretty much continuously from the closure of the bridge. So,
Correct. Yeah, KDOT has a program for it says basically local off-street bridge funding, which is kind of a separate pot of money for bridges that aren't on the main arterials or highways. And so it's a competitive program, but we have successfully received money from them before for this project, and then it was kind of put on the side for a while with various issues as far as the river development plan, and then we requested it again last year with a different scope, and we were close. We were there's like 60 requests, and about top third of those were funded, and we were right outside that. So they felt like, next year you guys submit it again, we should have a good chance. So anyway, if that's the case, we would submit here in June, would find out in the fall, and then it would be programmed then for a 2015 to 2016 construction timeframe. So when I say 2015, I should say late 2015. The fiscal year is November, obviously October. So October, November, December of 15 through September of 16. So it would really be constructed in 2016, we believe, if we were successful in getting funding for this project. But at least if we were able to find out if we are successful in getting funding, we'd start the design and make sure we try to hit that time frame. So we're still a little ways away from opening it back up, but the hope is that we would be successful in our request this year.
great. Any questions for staff?
What's the traffic count on Greeley?
Oh, before it was closed, it was less than 1,000. I'm trying to think of exactly what that was.
Is AADT the number?
800. What's that?
Is AADT the number we're looking at?
ADT, yeah, that should be in here.
It's
Actually,
1,300, and the estimated future is 1,900 in 2029, so.
Yeah, we had some traffic counts in there before it was closed. So there we go, 1,300. So that's a little more than 1,000.
And the traffic
Midway
count
and
decreased.
Greeley,
Yeah.
Midway and Greeley Act. Midway takes a lot of the traffic now, so it's actually around that same amount.
Dan, what do you think our chances are of getting it? I mean, do you have any inside scoop?
Yeah, let me see. I thought Kent.
Inside scoop.
Here we go.
Maybe.
Well,
Well, I will draw your attention to the background. Kent Johnson is my staff engineer and my bridge guy, basically. And feedback from, I'll just quote the background, feedback from KDOT indicated last year's application was strong, but there was abundance of fracture critical bridges. And just to clarify, fracture critical bridges are truss bridges where something in that fails, the thing falls down. So it's a real, those are the ones that they fund almost immediately if they're an issue. And so, the state of Kansas doesn't have a whole lot of those. So the hope is that there won't be as many as those this year, and then we would fit right in. So we were one of the highest on the non-fracture critical. So the hope is that we would, we feel like we have a good chance this year, but I guess we'll see. And if we aren't successful this time, then we'll either see what the issue is or have to come up with some other plan.
Great. Any other questions for staff? Thank you, Mr. Stack.
Thank you.
Any public comment on this while we're here? Okay. Bring it back for possible action.
I move we approve item 6.3 and authorize the mayor to sign a Kansas Department of Transportation local off-system bridge funding request for the Greeley Avenue Bridge, city project number 082709.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the sign of the Kansas Department of Transportation local off-street bridge funding request for the Greeley Avenue Bridge, city project number 08-2709. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries 5-0. We have no administration, no development. Any other business anywhere? We're just trucking along. I feel like at-home players aren't getting their money's worth.
I do have a little something I'd like to just
Great.
mention.
We've got time.
I'll just mention it. I attended a funeral for the man who was director of the Lawrence Human Relations Department for something like 30 years, and some of you may remember him. He was a colleague of mine when I was in Human Relations. He died May 11th. He was also a 20-year Air Force veteran and veteran of the Korean War. And his son, Nino Samuel, some of you may remember in the listening audience, was quite a big-time basketball star with Marymount College, and I just wanted to bring it to people's attention that Rogelio died. That's all I have.
Thank you for that notification. Any other business?
Is there a Memorial Day celebration coming up in between now and when we have our next meeting? Is it Memorial Day? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have any information on when that is? I know there's generally a celebration in
There's the
some sort of Memorial Day
memorial at
celebration.
Sunset Park.
Yeah, the 11 o'clock.
That's at 11.
That's
11
what
o'clock.
Sue gave us.
Okay.
Right.
That was them.
And then luncheon at the VFW
Okay.
following. Or was it American Legion? I'm sorry, American Legion afterwards.
Lunch at
Okay.
American Legion afterwards, right.
And then they have the Gypsum Hill ceremony. I believe that's at 8 or 9 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what she said. Oh, is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the Rose Lawn.
So it's at 11. She had
Yeah,
mentioned
the
it, but I...
Sunset Park one is.
Okay.
So no executive session, nothing?
No.
I feel like I need to go rake leaves to like earn my keep. It's
Rake
this-
leaves?
Well, it's the
How about mow grass?
maybe mow grass, do something. I mean, something for the city. It's like too short of a meeting.
Yeah, how about we make a motion to adjourn? And then
There
we
you
can do
go.
that.
I would entertain a motion for that.
Second.
Some-
A motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.